Okay, today's price action very sideways, fairly tight range. I mean, most of the day was between just 10-point range, so very small range compared to what we've been having the last year, really. Around 2 o'clock, we had the Japanese news where Trump had made a True Social post about the uh, about Japan tariffs. It wasn't too impactful in the market, but will be. We'll see how that plays out. End of the day rally, um, five bull bars, and then we're still kind of getting some fall through from that. But this fourth bull bar here, this larger one closing on is very high. I think that's a reasonable place to buy the close. So even though we're getting high up in the range, it still has room higher. And so I'll mark it here. So buying the close there. Fourth bar, this is the largest bar. Still has room up to the highs. Probably going to get a little bit more up. And the range hasn't been too large, so your risk is going to be too large. So probably buying the close there would be enough to get a little bit of a scalp. I don't know, probably considering today's range has been so small, I'm probably going for like 2 to 5 points somewhere in there, and you would have had room either way to get out with a scalp on that. There's been several patterns that we've been seeing lately. One that I want to bring to the attention is these bull bars that are occurring below the moving average. So once the market gets below the moving average, a lot of these bull bars have been sold, and which is interesting, um, because we've been in a bull trend. I mean, for more than a couple months now. I mean, so what I'm talking about is this area here. Market gets below the moving average. The first bull close around the moving average, there it's sold. And if you let's say you sold that bull close, you only had to risk a couple points to not be stopped out. Same here. If you sold that bull close, we had a few bull closes through here, and ultimately the price ended up lower. So like this type of price action, we've actually been seeing that a lot lately. Prior day, close example here. If you risked 3 points, you would have been fine. Bull bar here, sold off. Bull bars through here, sold off. There's more examples through here. Market gets below the moving average. Bull bar gets sold. Bull bars through here get sold. So it's been interesting. We've been having that even though we've been in a fairly strong bull trend. So like this kind of price action where the day can kind of do whatever it wants, but then once it gets below the moving average, then the bull bar gets sold. That's just the environment that we're in right now. And something that's really important with trading is understanding your environment and keeping track of these little patterns that happen like this. Because it's been doing this for a couple weeks now, and I don't know, is it going to do it for a couple more weeks? Is this the end, and then we're going to do something different tomorrow? Or is it going to last all summer? You don't know, but there's little things you can pick up on, and whatever the theme of the market is, whatever kind of environment it is in, then you can take advantage of it while it's doing that. So, pick up on the patterns that you're seeing and adapt to the market environment that you're in. So big gap up and a large bear bar. Not really any trades through here. A lot of sideways movement. Now, I wasn't expecting today to be a sideways day. I thought we would have still had a bias either to the upside or the downside. So if I pull up the daily chart, this is the E-mini daily. Right here's the couple months of a bull trend. And with today being Monday, I thought we'd either trend down slightly or trend up slightly. I didn't think we'd have a big day, but I wasn't expecting a sideways day going into this. So when you're trying to identify what the day is going to be, a trend day or a trading range day, you want to look on the open and see what it's doing. And well, the open was a trading range. It actually had all the hallmarks of today being a trading range day, which is bad fall through. So here's a big bear bar, and then immediately you get a bull bar. Then after this bull bar, you don't get more bull bars, you get bear bars. And then you keep on reversing, you have tails on bars, you have overlap. So this open was kind of the hallmark that today was going to be a trading range today. So, the signs were there. I just wasn't expecting today to continue like that. I thought we would have our opening range and then break below the moving average and then head lower, or stay above it and keep on kind of slowly working higher. But either way, today did end up as a trading range. And, there's an hour left in the day, but we're probably not going to go, probably not going to have any serious breakout here at the end of the day. But the first buy that I was considering was actually right here. And I don't have it marked because the market did not go above that bar. But looking at we have a bull bar, then a second bull bar. And this is coming off of a double bottom. So through here, market worked its way down, tested the moving average, tried to go lower once, pulled back, tried to go lower twice. Then you get a bull bar. Then you get a second bull bar. And this is where I was thinking this is probably just an opening reversal. So the market moved down on the open. Right, today's Monday. We're going to have a little bit of a move down. Then we'll probably slightly trend up the rest of the day. And then it might set up the rest of the week for another bullish week. So move down, double bottom. And then I wanted to be buying above that bull bar. But market didn't go above it. So I don't have that marked. You could buy above this first one here. But since that's earlier in the move, I think you need to do a swing trade on it if you did want to buy there. So you'd be buying, trying to get back up to the open, or you can probably even do like a 3 or 4 times your risk and try to get out somewhere up here. Just looking at the scalps though, then we have another double bottom, so a triple bottom here. We have another attempt lower. Still holding above the moving average, and you get a second bull bar. So I like trying to buy above this, even though the signal bar is not very good. It's the context. We've had this multiple attempts lower that are failing, and then a second bull bar. Probably going to be able to get a scalp out of that. Same idea with this buy. Right, this is really just we're continuing to get bull bars, and we have room to the open of the day. So I want to look to be buying. Market did. The scalp here did not end up working. I also have this marked as a buy. And really for the same reason, we're still above the moving average. And bears try to go lower again here. Couldn't. Get a strong looking bull bar, then a follow through bar. And I like to buy above those follow through bars. And if you're scalping for 5 points, this bar is actually small enough. So you'd be risking 2 points in a tick. So your risk is fairly small, and if you're going for 5 points, you're getting out up here. So it's actually a swing trade. I mean, it's a scalp profit, but you're structured as a swing trade. So it would basically look like this. So market pretty quickly rejected that, but couldn't. I mean, it tried to go lower, but then couldn't. Had 3 bars below the moving average and quickly reversed back up. Then got a second bull bar, and so once again, I like to try to be buying above that. Kind of like over here after this double bottom, failed attempts lower. Well, here we have another double bottom of sorts. This bear bar, pullback, second attempt, and then a pretty strong bull rally. Then a second bull bar. So the bears that were selling here, if they didn't get out above this bull bar, they're probably going to exit above this one. So I like to be buying there. Market did not get back up to the open, which I would normally think that it would. These days aren't all that common where you'll have a big move down and then the market stays in a lower trading range and never really comes back and tests it, even though we did end up testing it later over here. But failed to get back to the moving back to the open, and at this point you could draw some sort of support and resistance, something like this. So we failed to go above that, broke below it, now we're below the moving average. We have room down to the lows of the day. And so another reasonable scalp below this bear bar here. So first close below the moving average and a second one. So selling below there. And you would not have been stopped out if you put your stop above that bar. So if you put your stop here, you can see the market did not go above it. So you actually would have been able to stay in it, and you could have gotten your 5-point scalp over here. And then here was that Japan news. Trump had sent out a tweet about it. Not all that impactful, right? I mean, just kind of made a small failed breakout. So like I'll be interested to see what happens with that. Probably nothing major. I mean, ignoring the news and just looking at the price action, you have a first entry short here. So market pulled back. And it was the first attempt to sell. Went higher again. Second entry short is here, and that's reasonable for a scalp. Staying below the moving average, we have that theme like I was talking about earlier, where these bull bars are being sold at the moving average on pullbacks. So selling here on a second entry short, room down to these lows, that's okay. Double bottom, different ways to draw it. Here's your first attempt, maybe a second attempt, and a third attempt. So double bottom, failed breakout of the low of the trading range. And at this point, we've clearly been in a trading range day the whole day. So failed breakout of that trading range. And then now you're getting a bull close above the moving average. This is now after we've had a failed breakout from this low. So another reasonable buy there. What we're getting here at the end of the day, getting kind of a breakout above the high here, and here's the overnight high. So there's still time for the bears to create a failure here, but there's also still time for the bulls to create make this a decent bull day. So if we look at it now, currently it is another bull bar. So basically, it comes down to, are the bulls strong enough to keep this as a bull close, or will they be, or are they not? And then the bears can overwhelm them in the last 30 minutes, and the market will pull back. And that'll be important for the rest of the week, because if they can make another bull bar today, look something like this, well, then that would encourage more buying for the rest of this week. But if it ends up as a doji bar or a bear bar, then the bulls are less eager to buy. And then this week, the chances of this week being a strong bull week would be lower. So that's what the importance of the close is. I had just uploaded a video about the Reddit. It's the Reddit video. I asked Reddit, what do you wish you knew earlier that made you better at trading? And it got responses. Then I made the video about it. So I just posted that, and check that out if you're interested in seeing that.